Hey, so this is a follow-up, I guess. This one is related to the last episode. So if you've not watched the last episode about Forrest Finn's treasure and the things that he hid and people trying to hunt it down, then you're not going to understand this one because this is someone who tried to hunt it down, I guess. So here we jump into, let's not waste any time. Let's just get into it. It is May 27th. It's my parents' anniversary. Happy anniversary to them. It might be Tim's kid's birthday. Tim's kid is due any day now. And then I'm on tour. That's most important. And if you want, if you want to come to those shows, you have anything to say or add or do? Or
yeah, if you don't buy tickets,
cut it off.
We can't,
so just cut it off.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Oh, have you ever heard of Justin Posey?
Justin Posey?
Justin Posey.
Okay. I don't know.
Justin Posey. Here's a picture. This is Justin Posey in his
lair
office.
That's a cool clock.
That is a cool clock. It's also a cool, like, computer setup.
Yeah, he's got, what is that, 6 different screens. He's got 2 laptops with 4 different screens.
Yeah, I am a little...
Cool office.
It is interesting, the double laptop setup. Like, that is a little interesting. And I think he's got the Declaration of Independence on his wall.
He's got some kind of document.
Yeah.
Who's Justin Posey?
This is him as a kid.
Okay.
That's him and some other kid.
Other kid.
That's his brother Brandon. That's his brother Brandon.
Okay.
He's a child of the 80s. He... like many children of the 80s, got into, like, I don't know what you call it, what the right word is. He was one of those kids in the 80s who got into computers and technology, but like the building stuff, you know? That was the era of computer world where computer world was not like this.
It's hardware.
Yeah, but not even just hardware. It was like, in that era, like, you could do stuff with computers.
Sure.
But a lot of the people who were really into computers, they were doing stuff that was just not, it wasn't practical yet. Like, there wasn't a lot of uses of it. There was. But a lot of the people who did them as like a hobby, it was like you were tinkering, you know?
Okay.
So he was a big tinkerer growing up, is the point I'm trying to make.
Sure.
He was a big tinkerer. He got into University of Arizona. He grew up in New Mexico. Went to University of Arizona and started a career in tech. He became like a big software engineer guy.
Okay.
And moves to Washington State, where he works for probably Microsoft. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
It's a little...
So Justin Posey, he did stuff with computers, but kind of like tinkering, right? And he was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, just kind of tinkering. And then he moved to Washington State, and he worked for maybe Microsoft. Buddy, I don't know anything about this guy.
I showed you 2 pictures.
Oh, sorry. The only thing I know about this guy is what he looks like now and what he looked like as a child.
You want to see his truck?
And now I know what he drives. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, this is all I got to say about him.
All right.
No, so he moved to Washington, works probably for Microsoft. I'm setting the stage, okay? It's going to take a second. I got to set the stage on who Justin Posey is.
Okay.
Works as a software engineer.
Sure.
But he also, like, here's the thing. We don't know a lot about his personal life, but what we do know is that he has a variety of hobbies. And with those hobbies, he does a few things. He allegedly... tinkers with a lot of different devices to this day and is working on maybe X-ray vision. I don't know for sure. Like, it's a little gray. He's a big outdoorsman, likes camping, like going out and doing outdoorsy stuff. Was probably, don't know this for sure, remember, a little quiet about his personal life. Might have been a Boy Scout. There's pretty good chances there. Jaron
my
Jaron said to me
God.
before this episode started, he said, "Is this a good episode?" I said, "Yes, this is a great one."
And you're going, we don't know about his personal life, but he might have been, and this is up for speculation. Allegedly, we don't know for sure, but he could have been. And this is kind of, again, this is me guessing. I don't know, but he might. And like, we don't know for sure. There's no documentation. I'm looking it up. He might. I don't know. Might have been a Boy Scout. Tell the story, buddy. This is getting ridiculous. You don't have to flounder for half an hour and then at the end be like, then he made a treasure map. And you're like, oh, this was interesting the whole time. This was interesting the whole time. It just took forever to get here.
You just decided not to be interested.
So we've got this guy who tinkers with computers, might have worked for Microsoft and was maybe a Boy Scout. We don't know anything else.
Also, maybe
was as a kid wore goofy hats next to his brother, and then drives a truck that screams mentally and emotionally stable. So why don't you tell me about him instead of
that's all we
you
know.
publicly guessing about him? Quit guessing about him.
That's all we know. There's not a lot of information about him. I just picked a random dude on people you may know. I was like, let me tell you about this guy that I may know, but I don't know a lot about him. All right, I'll get to the meat and potatoes. You want the meat and potatoes of this?
Because I feel like we could stretch the meat. Here's what I'm saying. You'll pick a topic and you'll be like, there's only 20 minutes of material for this. Now, the interesting stuff we could stretch, but we end up stretching the non-interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm on a walk right now. Future Jaron is listening because I quality control these. I make sure I listen to them before we put them out and make sure that it's all good.
I don't.
And funny. And I'm on a walk right now, and I'm throwing rocks at cars. And
does that make me culpable?
Yeah, because it's me
It's your
doing
fault.
it. You're doing it through me right now, and I'm so frustrated because you're just not telling the story.
Oh, okay. I'll tell the story.
I allegedly threw rocks at cars.
Okay, so in the 80s, allegedly, he was a kid.
Okay.
No, so in 2010, he's a guy, I told you, he's got a wide variety of hobbies.
Interests and hobbies.
Interests, yeah. He also has this kind of side hobby that he does where he's like a collector. He collects a lot of rare items from everything from like old video games to like movie props to historical items to coins. Like he's just a collector of all things, you know? And so in 2010, he hears about this thing where a bunch of people are going out in the Rocky Mountains trying to find this buried treasure. And he says, that sounds interesting. I like the sound of buried treasure. And so he says, I'm going to look for it. So he goes on the internet.
Let me know when you want to be serious.
I'm being dead serious right now. I'm so serious right now about this. It's unbelievable. It might be a follow-up episode.
You're doing a story about a guy who, I swear, Tim, if I sit back down, I swear if I sit back down and you do a little bit, like 2 more minutes, and then you go, okay, he had nothing to do with that, I'm going to flip this table over, and I don't care if your laptop gets destroyed.
I don't know if this is
It's
really
flippable.
a flippable table.
It's flippable. It's the one thing I looked at when you sent it to me on Amazon. I said, could I flip that?
Could I flip that? You put it into ChatGPT. You said,
I
could
really
I flip this
misunderstood.
table?
I followed Gary Vee for a while, and he was like, dude, all you gotta do to get rich is go flip some furniture on Craigslist. And I was like, sick. I can do that easy. And so I started showing people's houses flipping the furniture.
Flipping their furniture.
Like,
They
you
were
know,
like,
'cause,
why'd you do that?
Because I was like, you told me you had this for sale on Craigslist. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah. And I said, I'm here to flip
I'm
it.
here to flip it. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've tried to flip a house before. I have much more respect for the people who've done
It's really hard. It's really hard to do.
So now that we've done that was a little ha-ha bit. We did like a little joke. This is the formula for the episode, is that Tim flounders a little bit. We do a little ha-ha bit. And then now he's going to tell us what the actual topic of the story is.
Yeah, so in 2010, he finds out about this treasure hunt. And he's like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Are you
I'm looking
serious?
for a thing to do. Yeah, so he goes on Amazon and he buys a book by an author named Forrest Fenn.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. So here's the deal. I really wanted this to be the sort of thing where it was like I could find something interesting about Justin and talk about him for like 15 minutes and then like all of a sudden drop this. But there's nothing interesting about Justin until he does this.
Okay. Yeah, I was picking that up.
I was like, I wonder if I could just talk about
so
him.
he was searching the... But,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So he was one of the treasure hunters. And so he got really involved in
See,
it.
this is a fun thing. Isn't this a good time where like we're looping into other episodes? This is a good move, Tim. This is great.
But anyways, in the 80s, he was a nerd.
Okay, so he
starts doing the hunt, right?
okay.
He is very involved in the public forums, very involved online doing Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt, and consistently on like boots on the ground, going and doing searches.
Yeah.
And while at the very early stages, he learns. What I want to illustrate is that this is a creative guy.
He goes, I think this is about his granddaughter. Forrest Fenn, granddaughter.
His granddaughter is Mila Kunis.
She's cute. Not my type, but
If she's the treasure,
she's a treasure.
Yikes. So he's a creative guy. So he finds out
If I can win her, creepy.
it's the thrill of the chase. So
Did you even read the book?
so he knows that the treasure is bronze, is in a bronze
Yeah. Why does he know
box. Because that's what Forrest says. Forrest says it's in a bronze box chest. So he starts training his dog. He says, "Oh, dogs can smell underground pretty good." And so he says,
Yeah.
he's
I had an ex-girlfriend who could smell pretty good too. Her name was Joy.
yeah.
And she could smell my sadness.
You smell sad today.
Oh, sad. Are you okay? You smell sad.
You smell sad. Yeah. I actually was
Starts
having
training
a
his
pretty good day
dog
until
to
he said
smell
that.
bronze.
Yeah, and so he starts, doing what you do when you train a dog. You give them a treat and some bronze, and then you give them a treat and some bronze, and then you give them a treat and some bronze, and then you give them just some bronze, and then they know, oh, hey, I like bronze.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't train my dogs.
Sure. I know. We can all tell.
So he trains his dog, and so he's doing these tests. He's burying bronze with the treat is what he's doing. He's burying bronze with the treat, and then eventually he stops burying it with the treat. And throughout slowly scaling that up, he realizes his dog could smell bronze up to 4 feet underground. And so he says, this is perfect. So he starts taking his dog out on these locations where he thinks this could be. And he's like, I know I could walk past an area once. If my dog smells bronze, we got it. If my dog doesn't smell bronze, it ain't here. And so...
Okay.
So he gets very confident.
It ain't here.
He gets very confident going around the
Yeah.
woods in the mountains trying to find this treasure. But he's having a hard time. Like he's not, obviously it's years he doesn't find it. Because he's an early hunter, like 2010 is when he started. And so a software engineer, he has a bright idea. He says, I can make a computer program, and Forrest is out here doing all these interviews. If I make this computer program that does facial recognition, then I can have it pick up micro expressions on his face and find whenever he has a fear response. And that would suggest to me that he's lying or he knows he's given something away. And so I could figure out the location of this treasure by examining his face.
Not gonna get me. In the early days of this show, we did like affiliate ads where we were like, hey, sign up for Grammarly and use code TILLN, and we got like 15 cents. And now we just do Patreon. It's a much better way. It's better for us as creators. It's better for you as listeners. And it's a much more fun way for us to interact. We do monthly hangouts like on Zoom. We just hang out and play games online and get to know each other. It's a really fun time. So, but still use our code TILLN at Grammarly.com because I think it's still active. We might get like a couple cents from that. Yeah. But join us on Patreon because we're having a great time.
Yeah. If you don't, we're going to have to start doing mobile game ads. I just make weird faces all the time to throw people off the scent just in case they're doing facial recognition software on me to try to figure out if I'm lying.
So, Tony.
That's why I always do this with my face.
About that thing we talked about the other day, huh? I took care of it. And you're like,
why are you doing that with your face?
Just in case the police are using facial recognition. You know how it is these days. They got all this. Yeah, you're freaking crazy, dude.
Stop doing that with your face, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't stop. I've been practicing and now it's stuck like this.
Yeah.
It's stuck doing that. Stuck and you can't, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tracking with you. So he makes...
No, I can't read your facial expressions. Okay. This is a little crazy to be like, okay, I'm going to feed these videos to a computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he puts together this algorithm and long story short, after examining hundreds of hours.
No, tell the long story. We got nothing but time.
So long story. He feeds in 100 different videos, and the videos, they're ranging on every topic. Public access TV, Good Morning America. It's all the different things he's been on. And it examines all his facial expressions, and it realizes the most common location he talks about when he has a fear response is Yellowstone National Park. So he becomes very confident it must be somewhere in Yellowstone National Park. So he starts using the poem for his solves and orienting it in Yellowstone National Park. Spends all this time doing searches in Yellowstone. He brings his little brother Brandon with him. They go up through Yellowstone, and they actually end up finding a specific stone in Yellowstone, not the Yellowstone, but just a specific, a specific like big boulder in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
They take a picture next to that and they realize, oh, this is a picture that Forrest has taken a picture from. He's posted this picture online. It's of him with a brown trout from when he was like 20. And so this is a spot that he's been to before.
Yeah.
And we have like photographic record that he's been here before.
You have those pictures?
I don't have that picture, no. And so...
Well, yeah, I promise exists.
And so he becomes very confident that it's at this location.
Sure.
He continues searching for the treasure throughout all of the scandals we talked about.
Yeah.
And the last episode, if you haven't listened to the last episode, go check it out. He continues searching for the treasure. His brother and him go out a couple times. And then the treasure is found. And we talked about there was that whole scandal of, well, where is it? You're not going to tell us where it is. Justin gets very obsessed with, I need to find where this treasure was. Right. And so he continues searching for it. And he's actually the one I told you people were looking for to match that spot in the photo.
Yeah.
He was the one who was like, I'm going to go find that spot.
Yeah.
And he continues searching for it. And 2 years after they came out and said it was found and that picture was posted, he found the location in Yellowstone National Park where that treasure was. And he ended up reaching out.
They never hit it though.
Well, so he reached out to Jack and he showed it to Jack, and Jack was like, yeah, I can confirm that that's the location. And it was this spot in Yellowstone right off the highway.
I don't believe it.
He waded across the river into this brush, and about 100 yards into the brush, he found a spot where there was an indentation the same size where the box was sitting in the dirt.
Did you take a picture of the indentation?
Yeah.
Do we have that picture?
No, we don't have that picture.
Not real.
And
this is easy. Case closed.
and he matched.
This is how police works, by the way, is that you just go, do we have any evidence of that? No? All right.
It's funny you should say that because there was another group of people that were looking for this, and they've said in interviews, they never found it. They were way off. It was this father and these two sons, and they also lived in Wyoming.
Is that location in the map? In the book? Like in the map?
I mean, technically, yes, because this is in Yellowstone, but like that map was the whole Rockies. So technically, yes, but it's like zoomed out a lot, you know? It's like it was never close enough for you to know for sure.
Sure.
But yes, technically it was in within that map.
Okay.
But this family, the father and the two sons, they became very convinced that they found the spot where it was because
it wasn't that.
They found this spot where there was like a boulder that had rolled down the hill and covered up this one spot. And so they thought that he pushed a boulder down the hill to cover the spot where he wanted to bury it because he could control where the boulder landed.
Yeah.
And so they spent, I'm not even kidding, over a year and a half trying to break up this boulder, and eventually they blew it up with TNT, and then they dug underneath where it was and it wasn't there. They were really mad about it. But anyways, they were so confident. They said in an interview, they were like, yeah, if you have coincidence, if you have one coincidence, that's one thing. If you have two coincidences, that's one thing. But if you have coincidence after coincidence after coincidence after coincidence, and then his dad pipes in, his dad's like, that's evidence. And that's not true.
Not true.
It sounds true, but it's not true. Anyways, that's just a sidebar. So he finds this location, comes out, says, I found the location of the original treasure. Meanwhile, he's also going down to the auction house in Santa Fe.
Trying to see, yeah.
And so before it sells, he actually is in negotiation with them to buy the whole lot because he wants it. And remember, he's a software developer. You saw his house.
Sure.
You saw it. I mean, he's got some money. Yeah. And so he goes down to Santa Fe, puts in an offer, tries to buy it. And it looks like he's pretty close to getting it from the conversations and the way.
An offer to buy what?
To buy the treasure. So Jack put the treasure in an auction house to sell it.
He's trying to buy the whole thing.
Yeah, he's trying to buy the whole treasure.
Okay.
And so he goes in to put an offer on the treasure. And it looks like that's going forward. My guess is that the auction house goes to Jack, and the auction house says, we think you could make more money if you sell all these pieces individually. I don't know what the offer was that he put on it, so I don't know what that total would have been. It sounded like it came close to happening, but eventually fell through. He sells it in auction. And so Justin was pretty upset about this, but he still went to that auction, bought as many pieces as he could. He was able to buy this wristband from the auction.
Okay.
And he also compiled a handful of his own collection. And he said,
that was really fun.
Yeah.
What if I did it?
Yeah. And so he puts together.
That was really fun. And it was never out there. But what if I pretended?
What if I imagined? So he puts together his own treasure. And so this has some pieces from the original treasure that he bought at auction. It also has a handful of pieces he had compiled throughout the course of his life. He says that this is easily over $1 million worth of items in this treasure.
Okay.
And then he goes and he launches a website and puts out a book called Beyond the Map's Edge. And in this book and on this website, there's a poem.
We got a grift, bro.
Let me read it to you. It says, can you find what lives in time, flowing through each measured rhyme? Wisdom waits in shadowed sight for those who read these words just right. As hope surges clear and bright, walk near water's silent flight. I was going to say that's spelled wrong, but it's cursive, so it's hard to read. Okay,
sometimes
for real
I
though,
think about how so much of my life is attached to you and how much I trust and depend on you.
For real
can't
though.
Read cursive.
For real though, can you read from here? You've got better eyes than me.
Yeah.
The last word on the second line of the second paragraph
Flight.
I know,
Easy.
because I already said
So
it. But if
easy.
you look at that
No,
FL looks
doesn't
like an
even-
H.
doesn't
The
even
FL
look like
looks
it.
like an H.
Doesn't at all.
All right, whatever.
Above it is an H.
No, it's not.
Yep.
Above it is a BR.
Oh yeah. That looks more like an H than the FL.
Oh, yeah.
It's so far. Let me see on here. I'll read it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Whatever, man.
Because you're bad at reading.
He's gonna
Round
read
the
River's height.
bend, past the hole. Hole is capitalized. That's something. That's Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Maybe.
I wait for you to cast your pole. In Ursa East, his realm awaits. His bride stands guard at ancient gates. That's his granddaughter. Her foot of 3 at 20 degree. Return her face to find the place. Double arcs on granite bold, where secrets of the past still hold. Beyond the reach of time's swift race, wonder guards this sacred place. Truth rests not in clever minds, not in tangled, twisted finds, like a river's steady flow. What you seek, you already know.
Is that the end of it? Is that it?
Yeah.
So he puts this out. This website launches. The book launches a couple weeks ago. And
A couple weeks ago?
A couple
Like
weeks
what?
ago. Let me check the exact date. Hold on.
What is the what's the website?
It is called treasure.quest.
You have to pay. I'm
No.
at least 18 years old. Why am I having to do an eligibility?
It's because he knows, like, he watched what happened with Forrest Fenn, and he's like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit more safe for me, so I don't have any legal liabilities here, you know? But don't look at, you're going to spoil some stuff. But it was 8 days ago. 8 days ago, this website launches,
Okay.
this book releases.
We're gonna find this thing.
The same day,
Someone found it.
someone's
Someone's just out on a random hike, and they're like, "What is
this
in that box?"
What's in that box? The same day he releases this website and the book, Netflix puts out a documentary about Forrest Fenn. It's a 3-part documentary called Gold and Greed: The Hunt for Fenn's Treasure. And this documentary
Okay.
series, Justin Posey is one of the interviewees. This
is
interview
coordinated. He
is
knew-
from
yeah.
his time on the show.
Yeah, he knew he was
So
gonna do this.
the whole documentary, Justin's telling his story of his experience hunting the treasure, the times he was close,
And
how
at the very
his
end of the
methods.
documentary, he goes, "By the way,
And so
I just hid one. Good luck." That's Netflix.
even better, actually.
Dun-dun.
You still watching? It pops up and says, "Dun-dun."
I don't get that
And it
anymore.
says-
I don't get the still watching, and this is true, because I have to pee way more often than I used to. So I pause the TV and go to the bathroom way more than I used to. So that's me. You know.
Yeah, it knows.
I never get
you're
that. Are you
interacting
still watching
with it.
anymore? Nah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've got that too.
Yeah, it's because we're getting older and our prostrates are growing.
It's interesting.
You gotta pee more.
It's interesting though.
You have a going
because
problem or a growing problem?
oh
And you got to get your prostate checked. And there's a guy in my neighborhood who does it for $7.
he does it at the Circle K.
There's like a lemonade stand, and then across the street there's a guy who's just like prostate exams, $7. You know, his kids
He's
are
got
doing
a permit and
lemonade across the street.
everything.
It's legit.
It's legit.
It's legit.
It's legit. He wears a lab coat.
That's how you know. No gloves.
Yeah, red's just too expensive in Los Angeles, so you got to do it on the
Gotta
street
do it
corner.
on the. Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's got a little sheet he puts up. This wife holds a sheet up.
Will you hold it, please? You have to hold it for your own
You
exam.
have to hold it yourself. You're bent over this thing.
No,
On
I
the
think
side-
I think
the
people
corner
get the
of
visual.
Sunset.
Yeah.
You're just holding it up like this.
But for real, you should get your prostate checked if you're a guy, especially like over 40, I think is when you got to start doing that because your growing prostate is like an actual issue.
Sponsored.
We're not sponsored, just general health knowledge.
Sponsored by the guy in the corner of your street.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
Use code. Walk up to him and use
how much does it cost for an ad on your podcast? Honestly, not a lot, dude. We don't got a lot of advertisers
honestly,
right now.
Whatever you want.
Give me a promo code. We'll cut a deal. So I get 15% of every prostate exam that you do from that guy on the street corner. Use code Jaron.
Hey, Jaron? Okay. Hold up this sheet.
Wow, this is a bad bit. Hey, real quick before we get into the podcast, just want to make sure you know that I am going on tour in June with the Church Comedy Tour with Shama Marema and Mike Goodwin. It's going to be a really fun time. I would love for you to show up. You can find tickets for that at jaronmyers.com/shows. So all of my shows are listed there, but specifically this tour. And they told me that if you don't buy tickets to this, it's going to be 6 more weeks of Winter Jam. And they're never going to let Mercy Me quit touring if they can't figure out how to replace them. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to buy tickets to our tour so that they can give. The other options, just so you know, on the website for TPR is Ninja Kids. That's real. That's my competition. So I don't like them. Buy tickets to my shows. You just Google it, Ninja Kids with a Z.
Yeah.
JaronMyers.com/shows with a Z.
So
this is one of those bits I'm gonna be listening in the car with my wife, and she'll go, Jaron. That's when I know it's really good. That's when I know we've done something really funny. Anytime my wife listens, she goes, Jaron. I go, oh yeah, that's killer. The 13-year-olds listening to this are laughing so hard right now.
Oh my goodness.
You know what else is a killer? Prostate cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And if you don't get your prostate checked, you may be at higher risk. This is a public health announcement. PAHA. So at the end of this documentary.
So at the end of the documentary happens, right? Everyone shares their stories.
Yeah.
He talks about how he wanted to buy it, and he was really hoping that he could buy it and
Did Forrest ever die?
Yeah, remember he died in 2020?
That's right. He died and kept his secrets with him.
Yeah. And so Justin was really disappointed because he wanted to just rebury the treasure. Sure. Or rehide the treasure, but he couldn't do that.
Oh, that's why he wanted to rebuy it.
Yeah, he wanted to rehide it.
Got it.
And so he bought pieces of it, he went and he said, I hid a new treasure. And he said, I've just launched a website. I just put out a book with hints and with the poem guiding you to the location. And he said, and throughout this documentary, I have snuck hints into all of my interviews, and the producers, none of them knew about it. And so watch this again and see if you can figure out where my hints are. Oh. And so throughout the whole time, he said, I don't know what's going to make it through the cutting room floor. I don't know what hints are going to make it. And then they had like a disclaimer. They said, we had nothing to do with this. We didn't know he was going to do this. But he, I guess in all of his interviews was sneaking in hints, and there's now been a whole new insurgence of people trying to research this, and they're studying the background of his house. And so everyone's saying, I think there are things that he set up in his house that are hints. His backgrounds might be hints on his computer.
Okay.
There's even a scene halfway through the documentary where he walks up and he just turns the hands on his clock for no reason.
Oh yeah, I noticed the time is. I was like, that's definitely not that clock is not on right now. That's a fake clock. That's the first thing I noticed.
Is it really?
No, I noticed how big his Adam's apple is. The second thing I noticed was that clock. I was like, look at the shadow protruding from the middle of his neck. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So everything
He should get that checked out by a doctor.
I know a guy. Say
What was that?
I like the idea that this guy in the street corner thinks that all you have to do to do exams is just stick your fingers.
Nah, you're good. Everything's normal. Everything's normal.
Feels like a throat. Well, all right, you want an ear exam? Oh, God.
Ow.
You got some thin fingers.
Your Adam apple pretty big. Surprise, too. Say,
Just like a
you're
viper.
good
You're good. You're free to go.
Yeah, you have insurance? You had insurance? You paying cash today. For $7, pretty sure I can pay cash.
You accept insurance?
Yeah, I mean, this is a professional business.
Yeah,
I just don't have an office.
Yeah.
I'm board certified. All my licenses are up to date. What do you want from
What do
me?
you expect here?
Yeah, that's really insulting you say that.
Yeah. It's like a street magician.
So, don't ever compare me to a street magician.
I'm a real doctor.
I'm a real boy. So he's hidden these secrets.
Yeah, so he's hidden his own treasure, and it's becoming its own thing. It's gone viral.
How many books do you think he sold?
I don't know how many he sold, but it's already a bestseller on Amazon.
Am I right, guys? Am I right?
Here's the thing.
It's a good play. This is a really good marketing move.
Here's the thing about him, though.
Yeah.
He took his brother out to look for the treasure.
Yeah.
And his brother passed away in the middle of the hunt, not like while they were hunting, but like in the middle of this 2010s hunting segment. And so for him, this is kind of like a memorial thing for his brother. He says like, we couldn't find it together. And so now I wanted to continue it to honor him. They had actually, he was one of the people that Forrest said were within feet of it because he took a picture at that rock. That rock was where the treasure was. It was in the brush behind that rock. But they just didn't happen to find it. Part of the reason why he thinks he couldn't find it is because that was Yellowstone. And at Yellowstone, you can't bring your dogs. And so he's like, if I could have brought my dog that day, he said, I think we would have found it that day. But the rules.
You bring your dog to Yellowstone?
Yeah, I think there are certain areas in Yellowstone you can't bring your dog. Maybe the whole thing. I don't know. So he replanted it, hid it, and for him, it seems like it could be in a bigger location because he's got a picture on his website, like the main, like the banner image on his website. Here, I'll show it to you real quick. Is most of the country is Alaska and then pretty much all of the West.
Cool.
So it seems like there's a larger area this could be hidden.
Great.
And he's right now is kind of on an interview circus. He's circuit.
Which this kind of sucks. This didn't narrow down at all.
Well, here's the thing though. He is doing like this interview circuit and he's doing a ton of podcast interviews where he's answering a lot of questions. And I feel like between his book, between his website, and one thing he's doing too is every time he does an interview, he's like, I'll add that to the website. And so every question he's answering, he's adding to the website. And that's kind of one of the things he's doing is he realized that a lot of the danger with Forrest's search was that there was so much
ambiguity.
Disconnected. Yeah, it was so disconnected. So he's like, I'm trying to make the website one source of truth, whereas hints come out and different things come out, it's all in one place. And so he's trying to make it a little bit safer, I think. But in doing so, from listening to some of these podcasts, I don't think that this treasure is going to last as long.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you're making it too safe.
Yeah, and so it's making it a little bit more clear.
I mean, there's no risk that I'm going to die.
Yeah, why would I do something if I'm not going to die doing it? That's what I said to the doctor on your street. Yeah, could this kill me? No, absolutely not. It's a safe procedure.
Great.
Why would I do it then?
There's got to be a little bit of risk involved.
Yeah. Speaking of risk, this is totally unrelated, but I did want to show you this picture.
Sure.
A screenshot of a tweet that Justin made.
Sunflower.
This is him tweeting at Brian Johnson because he found a typo on one of his supplements or something.
Okay.
Like the wet gecko Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I know who Brian Johnson is. Yeah.
So yeah, that just gives you an idea of who Justin Posey is. That's all I was.
Real life Justin. Brian Johnson, small typo on your labeling, FYI. And do you think Brian Johnson's reading his Twitter mentions? And he's going to go, oh. You guys get this to the team?
Yeah. He might be. I mean, this was, what is that, 2023?
Nah,
so you think he was he big
I'm not
then?
reading my mentions.
Was he big then?
Yeah.
That explains why you don't answer any of my Twitter mentions.
Do you mention me on Twitter?
All the time.
I don't check it out.
That's why we never hang out, because that's where I always ask you to hang out.
All of your tweets are, hey man, what's up?
Want to hang out?
So, okay. So the website again is treasure.quest.
Treasure.quest. And it's his revival of the forest fen hunt. And so in his treasure, he says it's a 60-pound treasure, and it's got Pamp Susie kilogram bars of gold, gold flakes, gold dust, and more just miscellaneous gold items, large emeralds, rubies, and amethysts, and then it's artifacts throughout history, including a third Kushan dynasty.
I hate this.
What?
On the website,
Yeah.
he's got an ebook and he's got a hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
He says, astute readers may notice subtle differences between the ebook and the hardcover. Those differences are intentional.
Interesting. So you got to get both. Smart. It's smart. It's pretty smart. And so he's got the website. He's got but the website doesn't.
This is all the stuff where I go, guys, it's just marketing. It's just a ploy. It's just a thing.
There's a large meteorite.
You can spend $1 million on a chest. Shut up. You can spend $1 million on a treasure chest, but you're going to make 15 million on book sales and speaking and.
Well, here's the most exciting part about all this.
Oh, how exciting.
Is I don't know exactly how he set this up, but there is a crypto component that grows with each book sale. So the crypto cash is growing with every time the book sells. I think maybe he's buying crypto with a percentage of each sale. And when you find it, you bring it to him and then you get that crypto cash. So it's also, get a bunch of
pyramid
crypto.
Scheme. Cool.
So it's the physical treasure and it's also a digital treasure.
Wow. I'm less interested in it now that I saw that, like, where he's just like, oh, I have an ebook and a hard book, and there's little differences in there if you can tell it, but you have to get both. Shut up, Justin. Here's the thing, man. There's typos in your book. FYI.
Yeah, we need to buy it now and find one so we can.
Why don't you buy the ebook? I'll buy the
it
hardcover.
Yeah, there we go. We can find the differences. So this is ongoing. If you find it, I think we have to get a cut because we told you about it. I think legally you have to give us
by listening to this episode, you agree to that. So
so legally,
bummer for you.
Yeah, shouldn't have listened to this episode.
Should we go look for it?
We should. Why not?
Yeah, but you have a kid on the way. I don't got nothing to do though. I'm gonna look for it. Why not?
Do it while you're on tour. You're going to places listed in this map.
Yeah.
West Texas is on here. That's close to where you're going to be.
Find it. What if I found it in an Amarillo gas station? He put it in a Love's gas station, guys.
It's in the toilet back.
Dude, no, it's in the gift. You know how truck stops have those gift things for their kids because you feel bad you're on the road all the time, and so you just buy a stuffed animal from a gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. They don't know it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if somebody stumbles upon it and has no idea it's related to all this stuff?
Well, that was what's interesting about Forrest's treasure. In Forrest's treasure, Forrest had listed off everything that was in his treasure. And when they found it, there was 2 items missing from the treasure. And so when Jack brought it, Jack said, hey, there's these 2 items missing. And Forrest was like, hold on. And so Forrest looks around his house. And he's like, oh, I didn't put this in it. I thought I did. But he's like, you can have this. But then the second item, they have no idea what happened to it. And so either Forrest is an old man and it was wrong, which is pretty likely, or somebody found the treasure, took one thing out of it, which is also pretty unlikely.
Huh.
So it's most likely the first thing. But
Well, we gotta get started finding this thing. So fiddle on, I guess. Fiddle on. Hey, if you like this episode, you might enjoy another episode we did called The Latitude Society. It was a secret society. It was like almost like a treasure map type thing, but it was, you had to get an invite, you got this weird card, and then you show up to this building, and then you go through this elaborate maze, this art installation. Really fun, really great episode. You can go check that out. Next week's episode is available right now on Patreon. That is a way for you to support our show. You get access to a Discord with us and Alex and a lot of our other fans, make new friends who are all talking about our show and also talking about other bunch different stuff.
Conversations.
Other bunch different stuff. And thanks for being here. This is an evergreen podcast, so you can check out evergreenpodcast.com. They do stuff. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.